Hello, this is Logan Murphy again, and for this video we're going to learn how to keep track of who is logged in by use of this session. In order to log a person in, we're going to use a form. It takes a username and a password. So we're just going to create a simple form that uses simple logic. We're not going to require a database yet, but we're going to make it so it's easy to incorporate a database. So what we need to do is create a new PHP file, call it login.php. And as always, we're going to include our template header, and we're going to include our template footer. Make sure you spell that correct. Okay, and we'll go to that page. Login.php, localhost/secula/login.php, just to see everything's working, that we included everything properly. Okay, so we need to make a form that looks something like this. In order to do that, first of all, we need to put the form, and as always, the action will be post, and the action will be the name of the file that we're working on, and the method will be post. Okay. Now in this form, we're going to put a table, which will allow us to easily organize our inputs. Every table has a table row. So just put that tag in there, and every table row has some kind of table data. And this table technically has 2 columns, so let's put that in there, and it has 4 rows, and each row has 2 columns. So I just copy pasted the row with 2 columns, and there's 4 of them. Take a look at this. The first row has nothing in the first column, but it has the word login in the second column. The second row has the word username in the first column, and an input, and we'll just name it username and give it a type of text. We'll also give it a value, and right now it'll be empty value, empty string. Now we're in the second row, and this is just all about knowing what do you want and how do you get that. So I know I want this here, so how do I get that there? Password is the type, name is the password, and we're not going to set the value for this because we want to keep the password secret. And finally, we have our submit button, and the value equals login. That's how we get the text login. So whatever text you want to be here for this button, that's what you set the value of this input to be. So we'll save it, go to our login page, and see that it's not centered right now. In order to center it, we need to alter our template.css, and we actually need to create 2 classes, and we're going to call the first class margin auto. I remember I mentioned this margin auto rule that pretty much centered things within their container. So we're going to take this class and we're going to apply the class to this table. And save the template too. And now the table's centered. We also want it's really hard to see right now because they're just about the same size, but you really want these to be right aligned, and these are not right aligned, so I'm going to have another class, and we're going to call text align right. and we're going to apply that class. Align right. To these two fields that we want to align right. That's the very, very slightest change. It's almost impossible to notice, but if they were a different size, like this was user, spell this right, align, text align right, right align. So right now it's left align, now it's right align, but I want this to be username. Refresh it, it's still right aligned. Okay, so make sure that when we type something in here and we press login, that we get this same page and everything's empty. But we don't want everything to be empty. When this page refreshes, we just want the password to be empty. But first, one thing at a time, we're going to get the username from the posted form, and we got to reference it by name. The name of the input goes here. Get the password by name, same way I just got the name, and all these names I'm using, they just make sense. They're totally up to me, and totally up to you as well. Whatever you choose the name to be, that's what it is, because that's what you want it to be. That's how you'll remember it. And we want to make sure that when someone types in a username, that they don't have to type it again. And then we'll test that. However, the password will disappear. Okay, so the username's still there. And that's because we took the username from the value posted, and then when this page reloaded, we printed that value that they posted again, except it's in the value field. And we can look at the HTML and look at the value attribute, and the word username is there. If we first load this page, view the page source, scroll down to the value is empty now. And that's because the user did not post to this form, they just loaded this page. There was no form posted to this page, so these variables, these post variables, were never set. So they're essentially going to be empty strings. And when we print, we'll be printing empty strings with just nothing, and that's what we see here, nothing. However, when someone types Logan Murphy and types login, view the page source, you'll see that the value is Logan Murphy, because that's what the form is submitted. The form is submitted, post had username Logan Murphy, we stored it in this variable, we echoed this variable where username is. Okay, so it's all dependent on what the user types in. So, if you ever want to use a session, we have to say session start. And when we want to close a session, say session commit. Okay, this starts a session. This closes a session. And you always want to do this before you try to access a session, your session variable. So, I'll show you what that means in a second. First, we want to see if someone gave us correct credential. So let's just make something up here. If the username is equivalent to Logan Murphy and the password variable, or the password they posted, is equal to secret, then we're going to use this session variable and set its customer value to 1. Remember, we can do else if, kind of copy paste this, Let's say if they type Murphy Logan and they type today as the password, then we'll give them customer 2. Okay, so this is a simple way to keep track of who's logged in. We use something called a session, and a session allows us to create memory that can travel between multiple pages. This is the only way that memory exists between multiple pages. Otherwise, memory is always deleted. Like this variable stops existing once you leave this page. This memory stops existing once you leave this page. This memory continues to exist no matter what page you're on in this website. This same thing. And we're just keeping this simple number here to know who it is. So number 1 is Logan Murphy and number 2 is Murphy Logan. Okay? So when we do that, we're going to see if a person is logged in, then we don't want them to be on this page anymore because they're logged in. There's no reason for them to be on this page. So we want to redirect them to the index page. And we do that by location, colon, space. This whole thing is important. Location, colon, space. Then the name of the file you want to redirect them to. The space is important, this colon is important, the word location with a capital L is important. This sends the user to another page. And more specifically, this sends them to the index.php page, which right now does not exist. So what we need to do is create it. Index, make a new PHP file, call it index.php. Actually, I already have one. Okay. And this is what we had worked on another time, but let's just add to it. Actually, I'll add to the top. We want to add a div, and we'll do some PHP code, and we're actually going to have to start the session up here. Session start, and then after the footer, session commit. So for this whole page, we're able to access the session. So if the session customer is equal to 1, well, then we know, like, we can reference back here, well, when it's 1, that means that Logan Murphy is logged in. So we're going to say, welcome, Logan Murphy. Else if the session variable customer value equals 2, then I'll echo welcome Murphy Logan. Otherwise, finally, I will echo welcome stranger. Now right now this home button is still the pound symbol, so in order to edit that we need to go to our header file and change this to /index.php. It's actually /Sequila /Sequila/index.php. Do we refresh on this page? And when you hover over home, you see at the bottom here, I can't do both at once, but you see at the bottom it says localhost Sequila index.php. You go there and it says welcome stranger, because I'm not logged in right now. Now how do we get to the login page? Right now this is still the pound symbol, so we need to change the login page to go to /Sequila login.php. Do a refresh. Now we're able to go to the login.php, type in Logan Murphy, and type in secret. So to make sure I'm correct. So I'm going to click login, which will submit this form to the login page, because that's what the action is. It's going to post the information from this form to this page. So the post variable username value will be what's stored in this text box, which is Logan Murphy. So the username variable becomes Logan Murphy, and the password variable, I typed the word secret here. So the password variable will get the value secret. I'll start my session. It's going to see, is the username Logan Murphy? Well, that's what I'm submitting, so that's true. And is the password equal to secret, which is what I typed here, so that's true. So we're going to do this first if statement. We're going to set the session customer ID, or the customer value of the session variable, equal to 1. We don't even look at this else if, because this if happened, so we skip this else if. Now we do this if the session has a customer value, then we're going to go to the header, or we're going to go to the index, sorry. We're going to change the location that the browser would be on to index.php. So when we click log on, it'll actually take us to the index page, and it'll say hello Logan Murphy. Okay, so it says welcome Logan Murphy. Finally, we need to give someone the option to log out. So just so that we don't have to change too much, instead of having sign up there, we're going to have log out, or actually, yeah, change sign up to log out. Sequila/logout.php. That's our logout link. And we need to make our logout page. Create a new PHP file. Call it logout.php. And this is going to be just about the only page you make that does not include the template. And all this page is going to do is log someone out. In order to log someone out, you need to start the session up, which you do with session_start. Then you need to reset the session variable to be dataless. So we just set it equal to an empty array. And that's, yeah. Then we use session destroy. Then we use session commit. And now we've logged the user out. This should actually be, is that what we've been doing? Yeah. Session underscore. The underscore goes there. And once we're done with this page, we're just going to send them right back to the index. Okay, so I'm going to hit refresh, and you're going to see sign up turn into log out. There it is. Right now it says welcome Logan Murphy. I'll click on the logout. It'll take me to the logout page, which will start my session, clear the data in my session, destroy my session, commit that destruction, and then send me right back to this index page. So then it'll say welcome stranger instead of welcome Logan Murphy, because I'm logged out now. Now if I choose login again, I type in Murphy Logan, and I type today as my password. Click on login, and it'll say welcome Murphy Logan. So now I'm logged in as someone different. Click on logout, and it says welcome stranger. I'm no longer Logan Murphy or Murphy Logan. I am a stranger. I don't have an ID in my session. Okay, so that's logging in, logging out, using a form, using the session. The next video I'll show you how to actually do that using MySQL, which is a way better practice, because if you wanted to have more than 2 people, if you wanted to do it in PHP, which you should not ever do it this way, you'd have to have another else if, and another else if, and another else if, and another else if, and you'd have hundreds of else ifs for each user, and it's going to be all over the place, and it's completely ridiculous. So get that out of your mind right now. This is not going to be what the code looks like. This is just a fake login, essentially. And we're going to replace this code right here with some MySQL, and we're going to replace the code in the index with MySQL. Okay, so I'm Logan Murphy, and I'll see you next video.